Hello, my name is Alex Rhodes, and this is the aptly named Alex Rhodes Show, featuring independent artists, interviews, their songs, and sometimes even live performances. We talk about the art, the music, the deep stuff, how it all relates to marketing, which is a necessity in today's world, and then we chat all around silliness. This show airs live each week on Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time, that's 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 to 10 p.m. Central Time, and 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Time on kpeo.org, World Community Radio. But for you modern listeners who don't believe in appointment-based entertainment, I edit it to podcast form every week. Most weeks, my guest today is J.C. Allen, a singer-songwriter in Denver. Welcome to episode 1. I first met J.C. Allen through Andy Sitto at a singer-songwriter showcase at a place called Flight Brewing Company in Denver. J.C. and I are both not 25 and beautiful anymore. We both have kids, and his daughter even sings on his album. We talk about playing music with your kids, where inspiration stems from, and where music fits in today's current market. We even jump a little into sync placements for video games, television, and advertising. For JC, he says many things are music for him. Entertainment, it's relaxation, healing, therapy, insight, enjoyment, love, and encouragement, but most of all, it's connection and sharing. He enjoys sharing stories or feeling a mood to connect with others. If you'd like to support this show in a non-monetary way, give this podcast or video a like or a 5-star rating. If you want to support me in a monetary way, head on over to alexrhodesshow.com and be unique. Buy a CD. Do we do that these days? I appreciate it. Right now we're listening to Magical Noise by J.C. Allen, and we'll fade into the interview.
Thought really long. His younger son was writing songs. Took me to where he wrote. I could feel every note. Oh, how I desire magical noise.
That was J.C. Allen with Magical Noise. And hey guys, you're listening to the Alex Rhodes Show on kpeo.org, or if you're watching this after the fact, you should be listening to it live Monday nights from 7 to 9 on kpeo.org. We have J.C. Allen with us tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about music. So let's start off with JC. Tell us about you. Tell us why you make music and who you are.
Oh, geez. Let's see. I guess I'm just a kind of a working stiff that also likes to do some songwriting and trying to learn how to perform better and just am really enjoying the whole process of learning from people better than me and, taking guitar lessons, vocal lessons still, and just quite a journey.
Now, who are you learning from who is quote-unquote better than you?
So we, my daughter and I have kind of done lessons. She's done piano stuff for a long time, and then I just kind of dovetailed with her. And then we met Andy Sito, who I think a lot of us know, and I've been doing guitar stuff with him for about the past, probably 3-4 years. And his ability to just help me understand the theory side of it and how I can use that in songwriting, and makes it super easy without me having to try to go do all the education he did to learn that. So it works out great.
Yeah, we've played Andy on the show. I think we're playing one of Andy's songs later tonight. We'll jump into Andy in a minute. Tell me this. This is always a challenging question for musicians or artists of any type. Why do you do it?
So I started doing it probably because of pain in my life. That sounds funny. It was just a time in life when I needed something, and I kind of knew a little bit about music, and I guess through that process, it was like a flower blossoming to just kind of process a lot of the tough things that were going on in life, and then it just stuck. I finally felt committed to it and just fell in love with it, and it's just my place to go. You know, it used to be all the depressing stuff, and now I'm learning to enjoy the positive parts. So I'm hopefully trying to write more upbeat, fun, happy, light at the end of the tunnel kind of music, rather than all the depressing, sad stuff that sometimes comes out first.
Sure. I was at Durango Song Expo, and one of the panelists there who has gotten a lot of placements in sync and does a ton of songwriting said, "I hate to tell you, but you're all deeply traumatized. Somewhere at some point in your life, you were flawed as a human being, and this is your outlet. So this is where you are." So it's funny that you mentioned, it's not funny that you mentioned, but the sad stuff and how that comes out. So tell me about what your process is to get into those happier spaces and write about happier topics, or the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's actually kind of funny, because when I was doing a bunch of open mics, like over at a local place here, Lincoln Station, it was weird because it was all in 1 week's time. I had like 3 different people going, "Man, could you play something a little more upbeat?" Or just, but
the bar gigs.
And it really, I was like, man, because that's just what was coming out of me at that point. And remember, I had a lesson with Andy, and I was telling him, "Man, I don't know." And he's like, "Well, do you believe what you're writing, what you're selling?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, screw him,
I don't think Andy said screw him, but that's all right. We'll leave it at that.
He did, yeah. He did. But so I finally started to kind of try to get tricky and write kind of heavy tone stuff with a more upbeat. But then the more I'm writing that too, is that can kind of conflict with the mood of a song. So I'm trying to make like the happy events in life actually match a musical tone and theme, rather than trying to do a bunch of trickery with music.
Where do you get most of your inspiration for the songs you're writing?
I think for me, it's more experience, because I'm trying to write stuff maybe fictional from like just some kind of story, but I'm finding I hook more into actual things that have happened in life. So if it's joyful stuff, I'll write about it. If it's heavy stuff, I write about it, but usually something that has happened in my life.
Now, the question that all musicians hate, other than why do you do it, is it the music or the lyrics first?
For me, I have a much easier time. I have a phone full of like progressions and musical type things. That comes the easiest for me. And then, I'll usually just hum to the music or just word gibberish until like a theme shows up, and then I go with it. And sometimes it's fast, other times it's like takes a while to grind it out. But lyrics for me usually come second.
All right. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, and then we're going to jump into Stubborn Ways. Is there a goal here other than getting this pain out, as you said, or?
I suppose there's the dream, and dreams don't always come true, but it's just fun to dream. Everybody'd like to be like, yeah, I made it as an artist, but then I also have to step back and say, what defines making it as an artist? So I'm trying to take this little baby steps of just getting better locally, reaching out, trying to play more places, and just hopefully, share everything with as many people as I can.
Yeah, I think I know we've spoken in the past. I believe it was at Flight Brewing a number of years ago, but we're close in age, and not a lot of people want to follow a 40-year-old guy on Instagram. I'm not, gorgeous 20-year-old blonde. And I'm also not a hip-hop artist, which is really the music that right now is resonating with folks. So how do you deal with that, with age and playing music and quote-unquote making it whatever that means, and what does that mean to you?
That's funny. A buddy of mine had said, you got to get your daughter in there and make her the face and you be the background. Like, nobody wants to look at a 50-year-old dude, right? That same thing on social media. So I'm trying to hook into, like, when I'm going out and doing things, expanding, like, my cover catalog. I'm trying to do a lot of 80s stuff that the typical artist out there isn't doing. My range can connect with some of those 80 artists that kind of, I don't know, they wore tight pants or whatever they did to sing in a range like that. But
there's an Instagram possibility for you right there. Tight
right?
pants.
Tight pants, old guy, I don't know. Like, even worse. But yeah, just expanding my cover library and then injecting some of the originals that fit well, and try to draw attraction to the original music that way.
Gotcha. Well, let's listen to some of your original music now. We've got Stubborn Ways. Let me be sure I get on my tech right here. We're managing about 4 programs. Here we go. Stubborn Ways, J.C. Allen.
Saw you dance around just the other day. Had my frown on, but it didn't stay. I've been stuck in my stubborn ways, feeling the pinch of every day. Time to put a smile back on my face. Jump for joy, new motto of my life. Throw out all the strife, cuts through like a knife. Now I see things right. Oh, I have decided time to make things good. Always knew I should. I've been stuck in my stubborn ways. stubborn ways, feeling the joy of every day. Time to put a smile back on my face, feel the joy of this place. I've been stuck in my stubborn ways, feeling the pinch of every day. Time to put a smile back on my face and feel the joy of this place.
Stubborn Ways. We have JC Allen right here with us tonight. It's Monday night on kpeo.org. This is the Alex Rhodes Show. If you're listening live, thank you and congratulations. If you're not listening live, well, grab your calendar and mark it for Monday, 7 to 9. We listen to independent artists, and we're interviewing independent artists like JC right now. Let's talk about recording these songs. We just played Stubborn Ways, and I know that you recorded with Andy Sitto, who we've talked a little bit about. What was that process like, from all the way from writing to instrumentation and producing?
It was pretty cool because he's done so much of it. He kind of knew how to really be efficient. And so I just sent him some kind of scratch tracks of different songs, and he was like, yeah, let's do that one, that one, that one. And so we did stuff with Third and James when they were still doing kind of recording stuff. And Grant Gibson did our engineering, and then like Jack from Six did the mix mastering. But it was cool. We did some rehearsing with studio guys first, and then went into the studio itself. And he's like, if we can get the drums and the bass out of the way, then we're kind of home free. We can do, all the overdubs and hopefully quite a bit of vocals. So it was cool working with Andy because he was just efficient in being able to get in there and get things done and utilize the time well.
How long did it take?
And then, our first set, we did like 5 of the 8 songs that I did, like in a day. We at least got most of the music and the vocals on one of them kind of done. And then we did vocals over at Andy's studio, and then brought my daughter in to do the backing vocals. So really, I don't know the exact time for that. I think the 8 songs that maybe have out there, but I was pretty pleased with the efficiency and how smooth that the whole process went. It's a great learning experience. I mean, the part as an artist, like I was still doing a lot of vocal training stuff. There's certain songs I'm like, man, I wish I could go back and like redo some vocals and that, right? But you'd probably do that forever.
I think,
It'd always be like,
with any artist project, I feel like you're always looking back saying, oh, I'm better today than I was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
That letting go part. Now tell me, you mentioned your daughter sings on the album. We talked a little bit about it on the show before. What's that experience? I'm a dad. You're a dad. What's that experience like, being in a studio creating with your daughter?
It was awesome because when we first kind of started getting into music together, right, we were doing some open mics together. She'd get up there and we kind of did the duo, and then she has an ability of being able to just almost harmonize just right out of thin air. So she already kind of knew, because she'd hear me singing those here, and she's like, oh, I got a harmony for that, and it just made sense to be like, okay, we're going to have you sing on this. And I approached it as if she were a session musician and paid her by the hour. And said, if you ever do this is what you should expect. You should get paid for
Wow.
what you're doing. So, yeah.
Wow, you get the father teaching moment along with the creative moment. Now, who's the better musician?
Really raw and naturally and actually sounding good. Her by far.
Who has the bigger Instagram following?
Her by far. That's why if I could rope her into mine, right, it would be like my buddy said. It's like, there you go. I could take the back seat and probably sail away, but teenagers have their own path, kind of. But we still do stuff, and it's fun.
Now, does she have an interest in also pursuing music or creativity in a published fashion?
Yeah, I don't know if so yet. She's just so into experiencing high school and being engaged and all that. And, and the COVID stuff kind of took a lot of that away from them for that year. So she's just enjoying experiencing, going to games and doing actual things that teenagers will do. But, she's so talented at the music stuff. I think at any time we could just do a project and it'd be pretty cool.
That's great. I know from my personal experience, my dad taught me how to play guitar and perform. And so then I went to college and started a band, and I wasn't doing super well in college one semester, and the head sort of butted on, okay, be creative, but also get your work done. So I wish you luck in that venture.
You're right.
Now, was there anything that happened in the recording process at 3rd and James with Andy that you weren't expecting?
Not really. I mean, there's kind of those times of sitting around waiting to do different things, but he did a good job of telling me kind of what to expect, and just kind of how the process went, and watching those guys work was, it was worth every cent of the investment of doing it and the experience. So, those guys were very professional, and it's cool watching people who are good at what they're doing do their thing, and just sitting back and knowing when to come in and do your own thing.
Now, do you enjoy the songwriting part of it more, or the production, being in the studio part more?
I think I'll always I'm really kind of an introvert, so I like being at home, being alone with the guitar, the notepad, and just write and make music.
Now, you're an introvert, but you also play live. What is that like? How does that feel?
Oh, man. This is another funny story, because I don't know if you know locally Billy DeVette and Wild Bill Outlaws. He plays all over, and he was kind of in an 80s hair band and had a lot of experience in that. And when I did my first open mic ever, he was hosting, and he loves telling the story after the fact because of the improvement. He's like, I was at your first open mic, and it wasn't good. and I say that because, man, it took me week after week after week going back, and I kept asking, I'm like, why do I keep coming back and doing this? I'm like, I'd rather go to the dentist, So some people gravitate to the stage. I don't. That's been the hardest part for me, because I'm like, I don't like the sound of my voice. I'm like, I'm messing up. It took me about a year to get comfortable with that, and now I enjoy it, but it's still like that's an aspect of this I think I need to work on, is like that rehearsal, like having a set really rehearsed out and entertaining people. So that's something I'm thinking a lot about now to get better at.
So, if it's as painful as going to the dentist for you to perform live, why did you keep going back? I gotta know.
I don't know. I think there was just something in there driving me to share what was going on inside of me, regardless of the discomfort. That's something a buddy told me. It's like, you keep doing it until you get comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
That makes a lot of sense. I've always been more on the Adam Sandler sort of side of performance in The Wedding Singer, where he says, well, right now I have the microphone and you will listen to every word I say. I think that's always been my interest in performing or doing this even. So, well, let's listen to another song. We're going to listen to Tie Your Shoes because this is the song that I like, and this is the one that we've played a lot on the station. And we'll come back and ask a few more questions after that.
Okay.
All right.
You must have thrown 1,000 pitches teaching him to hit a home run. Spent countless Saturdays running routes so he could learn to hit an open receiver. Endless afternoons teaching him how to hit the three-pointer. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit? Teaching boys that all violence against women is wrong is one of the most important things a man can do. Learn how to start the conversation at teachearly.org. Brought to you by Futures Without Violence and the Ad Council.
Mi gente, this is Techita, la reina de salsa soul, your queen of salsa soul, and you're listening to KPEO World Community Radio.
A sunny day paves the way to a place you want to play. Out of the dark into the light, that's a place you'll be alright. Bring your care and ways with you, and don't forget to tie your shoes. Now you're out, what you gonna do? You should try something new. So many places for you to go. Get out there in the flow. Bring your care and ways with you. And don't forget to tie your shoes. Don't forget to tie your shoes. Get out the door. What adventures lie in store? You can see, need to know. Wait for the world to show. Bring your care and ways with you. And don't forget to tie your shoes. And don't forget to tie your shoes. Don't forget to tie your shoes.
We're back with JC Allen on KPEO. You're listening to the Alex Rhodes Show, kpeo.org. Monday nights from 7 to 9, we play independent artists, and we interview independent artists as well. Tonight we're interviewing JC Allen. We just played Tie Your Shoes, which is personally my favorite song of yours. We've talked a little bit about recording. We've talked about who you are. Let's get deep. What makes you inspired to be your best self, JC Allen?
Oh, man. I probably my family, because they're such better people than me, and so I strive to, to kind of be like what they do in their daily lives.
Better people than you.
put
Give
up
yourself
with
some
me.
credit. You're a good guy.
Yeah. But there's something about when, within your tight-knit little family dynamics that, like as I've processed through the stuff in my life, I'm like, man, I love it that these people put up with me. And that it's just, it's contagious and it helps you want to be just better to everyone else.
Awesome. All right. Now, if you could turn back the clock to when you were 18 years old, what would you tell yourself that you didn't know then?
I did athletics, so I was a college triple jumper. And if I could go back to when I was 18, and I had a college roommate that was a good natural musician who I guess I'd give a lot of credit to where I am now. I think I would have embraced music more seriously than I did. But, I was pretty, when you're into something, you're just into it, and it's like I had blinders on. But I would go back and really dig into the music. But then I don't know if I would have been as creative or the stuff that came out would be the same. I think it came out when it should have.
Yeah, it's interesting when that stuff comes out and how it comes out, and is there a reason why, or maybe there's not. Maybe it just needed to come out. Now, The triple jump, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an Olympic specialist or a track and field expert, but you're running, does it matter if it's left foot, left foot, and then you double jump, or am I way off?
Nope, it is. You take off like your left foot, you land on your left foot again, and then you hop, and then you land on your right foot and jump. So hop, step, jump.
Hop, step, jump. What's the farthest you jumped as a triple jumper?
I was about nearly 51 feet.
51 feet. That's incredible. Now, it's been 2 years since I've watched the Olympics, but I think they're jumping about 51 feet too, right? Is that correct?
The world record is 60 feet, 5 inches.
60 feet, 5 inches. Okay.
Yes.
So you're right up there with the Olympic athletes.
Yeah.
5/6 of the way. I'm impressed. I had no idea you were such an athlete.
No, it was fun, but my knees are starting to feel it now as I'm ripening in my age.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is way too much information. 26, first hangover. 30, things started popping and cracking. 40, the pain kind of started. So I only imagine what the 50s are going to look like for me.
That's right.
All right, 150 years from now, someone writes a book about J.C. Allen. What is the title of that book?
Oh, man.
I told you we're getting deep.
These are tough. These are tough. What would it be titled? The Man Who Eventually Found Music.
And that's what the show's all about, right? Independent artists.
That's right.
Playing music. Yep. That's great. I think we'll take a break right there and go play Till the End by J.C. Allen. We'll come back and we'll have a little fun, make it a little lighter. We've talked recording, we've talked songwriting. We just had some deep conversations. We found out that J.C. Allen is a triple jumper. I think the last time I jumped 3 times in a row could have been decades ago. So let's get back to the music. J.C. Allen, Till the End.
The clouds come rolling in, fearful thinking begins. This storm's a big one, this storm's a big one. The sun will come out.
was JC Allen till the end. We are live with JC Allen tonight on the Alex Rhodes Show, kpeo.org. Unless you're watching after the fact, at which point we aren't live, but hey, you're watching. So be sure that Mondays, 7 to 9, you're tuning in to kpeo.org, World Community Radio. We've talked recording, we've talked songwriting, we've talked about who you are. We learned that you're a world-class triple jumper. I have Renee over here who runs the station. He said, jump 51 feet, that's world-class. And we clarified in the break that it is indeed world-class NCAA qualifying length. So I didn't know that we were also having a great athlete on the show. I feel honored. Thanks for hopping on. I've got some quick questions for you that mean absolutely nothing but tell us so much about you. Before I jump into that, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Feel free to bring it up now.
No, I love listening to your show, and I like that you guys are supporting independent artists. And I never was really good at listening to music, but I'm learning the more I do. That's another inspiration point, I think. I'm really getting lots of ideas and stuff by just listening to other people's music, and it's just something I think I overlooked. Because I never really was. My brother was like always had music going, and I just never really was that way. It's weird. But now I'm starting to learn to kind of listen to anything and everything because it feeds a lot of that creativity.
Well, this is an interesting point because I'm a marketer by training.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I do when I'm not playing music and DJing. How do you find new music? Because it's always interesting to me, we hear all these things about Spotify, etc., and how music's going away and no one's listening to new music. So I'd like to know how you find new music.
Actually, some of the best music I have found is, I'm a video gamer too, and sometimes the scores that they do in games are just like brilliant. So that's an area I think that's kind of a hidden area that's helped me discover just totally different kind of stuff. Sometimes all instrumental, and then sometimes just the different placements that they put in the games. Or I'll go search those out, and then it opens up. That this song's related to this song, and then you just kind of go down that rabbit hole. But that's how I found a lot of different kinds of music and styles.
Now you're speaking my language because my dream is to have a song synced for ads or television. And in video games, there's a giant market for sync music, and I've been in clubhouse rooms with guys like Duraj, who does a ton of video games. He does a lot of trailers as well, and that market is huge, and it's a great way for musicians to get paid. What types of music are you hearing there, and what video games are you playing and hearing that music in?
So, like some of the RPG stuff, it'll be almost like orchestrated type music, but then other ones like a GTA type theme or cyberpunk. I don't know where they find some of these artists, but it'll just be like I was playing Far Cry 6, and it's more like it almost feels more Cuban themed. So a lot of the music's kind of like the Latin beats, and man, there's been some songs on there that I'm like, God, these are cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go search that stuff up on Spotify, and like I said, it'll show relating type artists and songs, and then you just start exploring, and it's opening up a whole new world just to give stuff a listen. Plus, having a teenager in the house, like, hey, listen to this, listen to this. Like,
Now, what's the experience like listening to those songs and that music outside of the video game world in your car or in your house? What's the difference in the experience?
Usually, like most music, right, places us in either, like when I listen to 80s stuff, certain songs, like you can picture exactly where you were or certain events, you know. I think that's what's cool about music is it can place you back in a time era that was either really fun and happy or sad, but it captures that moment in time. So when I listen to those outside of the game, out of context, it usually takes me back to the game. And I'm like, I got to go back and play.
Got to go back and steal that car in Grand Theft Auto. Now, my daughters are much younger than yours, so the types of music that I get from them, it's hit or miss. Some of it's pretty good, you know. Katy Perry's not bad, and Imagine Dragons here and there, not terrible, and then, you know, things like Baby Shark, which is just awful. But I'm curious to know, with a teenager in the house, what kinds of music are you guys listening to, and what is it that she's listening to that you think is good?
So if I go back in the day when I was not a Justin Bieber fan, but she was. And then we watched his movie, and then when I really kind of watched what he did as an artist, I'm like, man, that was pretty cool. I mean, because he was sitting on the steps at a local ice cream thing, basically busking, you know. So it's like a lot of people think, well, that kid just had it handed to him, but I think he worked pretty hard for it at a certain point. Currently, it's kind of like she's told me you need some more modern covers. So like I cover a Post Malone song because she's like, you need some newer stuff, right? But hers is too broad. I can't keep up with it all and all the names. I mean, because she is the consummate like listener of music. And the other day she was listening to a bunch of country stuff. And then another day she'll be listening to kind of rap. I mean, she has a great expanded library of what she likes to listen to, which is cool because, you know, at my age, I'm still trying to develop that appreciation.
That's, I think that's the beauty of it. You can come to it at any time, right? And find, yep. I certainly have gone back. I've listened to, I'll be way too honest. Randy Travis, I'm Gonna Love You Forever. I think that's one of the best songs ever written. I mean, it's just pure, and I'm not a big country guy, but come on, that song is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my brother's a big parrot head, so like Buffett and Chesney, and he'll send me things. You got to learn this one, and then he turned me on to a band called Stick Figures that kind of has that kind of that reggae-ish, yet kind of a pop type sound, and I love it.
All right, tell me this. What's the best song you've heard in a movie?
In a movie. They always play in a lot of different movies or shows. I'll always hear Teardrop from Massive Attack.
All right. Teardrop from Massive Attack. I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to look it up.
It just fits. Anytime I've heard it in a show or a movie, it fits so well with the placement.
Got it.
You know, so that'd be my call.
All right. Rapid fire round, and then we're going to release you, JC. Thanks for hopping on the show. Thanks for sending your music in. We enjoy listening to it. After this, we're going to listen to a song from Ellsworth, who's going to be on the show next week. But for now, it's rapid fire round. I ask a very quick question. You have 2 seconds to answer. Are you ready?
Okay.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Batman, Superman?
Batman.
Garfield, Heathcliff?
Heathcliff.
Ooh, Heathcliff. All right. Creamy or crunchy peanut butter?
Crunchy.
Oh, that's incorrect. I'm sorry. Cats or dogs? Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. Coke or Pepsi?
We have 3 labs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, Coke.
Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
Pearl Jam.
Netflix or Apple TV?
Netflix.
Biggie or Tupac?
Oh, jeez. Biggie.
I agree. And what's your favorite Seinfeld character? Or who is your favorite Seinfeld character, excuse me?
Oh, Kramer all the way.
Kramer all the way. All right.
When I used to have hair, I could almost look like Kramer.
I kind of am doing that. With, it started as a COVID thing, and then I just kept it. I don't know.
There you go.
Well, JC, I appreciate you hopping on tonight. Thanks so much. And, yeah, we're going to listen to a song from Ellsworth, who will be on next week. If you're sitting at home watching this or listening to it, let's give a round of applause to JC. Appreciate you hopping on, and we will talk to you and hear from you soon again, I am sure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Take care. Thanks so much for tuning in to episode 1. It was a blast to talk to JC Allen and get his perspective on music, marketing, and playing music with your kids. Next week, I'll be hosting the Denver singer-songwriter and mighty fine guitar picker, Ellsworth. I'll look forward to seeing you guys then. Thanks.